I was standing in the boardroom when he said it. "You're outdated. We are done here." No raised voice. No drama. Just a hiss, like he was swatting a fly that had overstayed its welcome. I nodded once. Understood. That was the moment the retirement trust activated its voting rights. By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. One question on the agenda, whispered and panicked. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? I didn't smile. I never do when something is already over. The cottage came before the boardroom. Betrayal always does. It was ours. That place by the lake. Would that smelled like pine and old promises. Mornings with fog lifting slow enough to make you believe time could be reasoned with. I bought it before the money, before the company, before he learned how to sharpen a knife behind a handshake. I brought her there the first winter we were together. She cried when the fire caught. Said it felt safe. That's what hurts the most. Not that she went, but that she knew what it meant. I told her clearly. No threats. No theatrics. If you go to the cottage with him, we are done. She didn't argue. She didn't deny. She just packed a bag and said she needed space. Space is where liars go to rehearse that I didn't follow her. I prepared. The first sign wasn't the trip. It was the calendar invite he forgot to hide. A weekend strategy retreat. No assistants. No notes. Just him, her, and a location he thought only meant something to me. I let it sit. Watched patterns close like a net. Credit card pings. A burner phone purchased with petty cash. Deleted messages that left metadata like fingerprints on glass. I stopped sleeping next to her weeks before she left. Started sleeping next to the truth instead. Pain is loud at first. Then it becomes useful. By the time they arrived at the cottage, I'd already been there for hours. I lit the fire. Opened the wine. Laid out documents on the dining table like place settings. Then I made the calls. His wife answered on the second ring. Confused. Polite. Still believing. I told her everything. Slowly. Factually. No adjectives. I sent proof before she could interrupt. She arrived with the kids and his parents just before sunset. Families move fast when illusions collapse. They pulled up laughing. I watched from the porch. Her smile died first. Then his. He tried to speak. I raised a hand. He stopped. He always did, back when he thought I was indispensable. Inside, no one sat down. They just stood there, surrounded by the ghosts of what they thought they were borrowing. His wife didn't scream. She asked one question. How long? He looked at me. I looked at the lake. Long enough. I left them with the evidence. Hotel records. Messages. Photos he never knew were mirrored to the cloud he didn't secure. I didn't need to stay for the fallout. Justice doesn't require witnesses. The boardroom did. Monday morning, I took my seat at the far end of the table. Same place I'd always Saturday. Quiet. Unassuming. Patient. They were already arguing when I walked in. He was red-faced. Sweating. Furious. This is a misunderstanding, he said, pointing at me like I was an inconvenience that refused to die. He's retired. He doesn't even. I slid a single folder across the table. The trust documents. The voting rights. The signatures he never read because he thought loyalty replaced literacy. Silence fell heavy. I spoke once. I believe the agenda item was leadership. He was escorted out 15 minutes later. No goodbye. No dignity. Just a cardboard box and the sound of doors. Closing that never. Reopened the same way she tried. To call that night. I didn't answer. Some apologies are just attempts to renegotiate power weeks past. The company stabilized. The stock rose. People stopped whispering. His wife filed quietly. Took everything that mattered. He kept the things that make noise. I sold the cottage. Not because it hurt. Because I didn't need. Reminders of places where people thought they could take from me and leave unchanged. I don't regret the warning. Warnings are gifts. Ignored ones become lessons. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't beg. I didn't chase. I waited. That's the difference between anger and control. Betrayal feels personal until you realize it's just bad strategy. And I've always been better at the long game. They thought I was done. I was just getting started.